YouTube? Welcome to another one of my interesting episodes today. Today, this one, I actually have to cover on something before I continue out on the video. I have this little Google search bar and Google home screen right here is because number one, I have baby face genetics, so that means if I shut out my entire face covering the entire camera, then that means YouTube will absolutely censor the comments. Most importantly, number two, I do have problems with my camera app. I'll say that in the next video if I do have time. But let's get on to the actual video here. So we're going to cover this on what does it mean to be authentic? And most importantly, what does it mean? Why do I hold my views as they are? Why do I want to challenge blanket beliefs? Why do I have such a problem with them? And I really like these two interesting questions I know I'm one day gonna receive. So let's go ahead and cover them now. So for the first one here, number one, what does it mean to be authentic? It's such an interesting thing that I have definitely been intrigued by myself here. But when it comes to being authentic, the really big thing here is that it involves a lot of challenges, most importantly. It's not about learning to be comfortable with yourself, but most importantly, it's learning to go against the grain if you have to. Use your own opinions, use things as you say, being fit, and that's a really big thing that I have here. Being authentic sometimes means going against the grain. Being authentic sometimes means to be a better person overall. It overall means sometimes not to fit in. Not to fit in means to be your true character. Be the person that you are, not the people that want you to be. Like imagine in high school, I know I'm in one perfect example of this if you guys don't get it yet, is that we have pre-fit high school molds. All right, there are a lot of social positions that you can take, and there are a lot of things that you can make yourself into and able to be able to get social approval or please other people. And that's really interesting here is that authenticity absolutely takes over that role. You see, instead of fitting in, a person who's authentic will number one prioritize their character over trying to fit into any molds for that matter. Instead of them convening to this opinion, instead of them convening to this social position, they choose to be themselves. They choose to be their own character as they should be. All right, that's one example of how being authentic to your own character means. And what do I mean by going against the grain? You see, going against the grain here is more of an analogy. It's kind of a metaphor too. It means that while the grains are falling in a grain mill, like let's say someone opens it up, it means being that one grain that sticks to the side instead of actually falling. See, imagine this, a little corn mill. Someone's breaking over in this little corn mill, someone's breaking over a hole in breaking like a really big hole. So that means all of the grains are falling out, right? But when it comes to be going against the grain, it means adhering to the walls of that place. All right. You think of this like cylindrical place where grains are placed. It's like sticking yourself to that wall as a grain yourself and letting the rest fall. It also goes to opinions too. Most importantly, it's about standing for what you believe. It's standing for what you see as fit in your own life. Most importantly, it's about standing with your values, not standing with other people, not changing it to fit in for social approval. It's about staying for the person that you are. It's staying for the people and person that you ever want to be. All right, think of it as something like that. Authenticity is vulnerability. This is probably one of the most contentious things that are said in society. The really big thing with being vulnerable here is that learning to share your own emotions, learning to share yourself as a person. Not many teenagers my age ever get to do that until they become adults, until they have come to a point in their adult life where they realize they should be opening up to this or that. But I've realized this way early, before even high school graduation, is about vulnerability and opening yourself up to others. All right, it's about vulnerability. It involves being able to show your true self. It involves even if it's uncomfortable to others, even if it means you won't get social approval, even if it means people see you as weak. Vulnerability is a strength. Vulnerability in itself is a strength that can unite other people. And it's what keeps people relatable and human for that matter. We also add empathy and sympathy here. We also add authenticity and we have empathy and sympathy. Sympathy simply means to support other people for what they are. No, not feel what they're going through, but rather understand the what they're going through, understand their emotions for that matter. But most importantly, when it comes to empathy, it means actually understanding someone's struggle and understanding what they went through. You may have went through yourself too. As also, empathy is also sympathy, but most importantly, it also means like shared experience for that matter. Shared experience and learning to understand people that they're probably going through the same thing as you are. And when it comes to authenticity, it also means being vulnerable with yourself. It also means opening up to the soft side. You see, in high school and in real parts of real life, there's often this performativeness, there's this competitiveness where you have to win this or win that, you have to be stoic. But when it comes to authenticity, authenticity is a counter to that. Rather, it means to open yourself and show your true character as you are, show your struggles, show your problems as you are. And that's a really big thing, is that people will make fun of you. People will make fun of me for being a vulnerable person. People will make fun of me for that matter. But it's a really big question here. Am I being authentic to my own struggles? Am I being authentic to my own character? If that answer is yes, then that means you're being authentic to yourself. And of course, authenticity doesn't mean to outright reject people. Obviously not. Even though most people will definitely reject you simply because you stand for this or that. Most importantly, it also means that you're living in quote unquote reality. A reality where not everyone's gonna like you. You know that it's a type of reality where people realize that you are this character, you will grow to be this person. And not everyone's gonna be like that. In this world, not everyone's gonna like me for who I am. Not everyone's gonna like them for who they are, whoever they may be. And most importantly, for the ones that are even marginally, not everyone's going to like us. Not everyone's going to like me simply for what we stand for. And that's okay, because they're humans too. They have their own reasons. And when it comes to being authentic, it also means having those traits too, even when other people may not like us. And most importantly, when it comes to authenticity, it also means standing up for yourself even when others aren't willing to. It means going against the flow sometimes. Authenticity also means standing for your own character, standing against polarization for that matter. It means standing for who you are, standing up for critical thinking, and standing up for what your character truly values. Not what other people value, what your character values. That's what's most important in this case. Being an authentic person when it comes to challenging norms and societal norms, when it comes to it, rebel for change, not just for rebellion's sake. And that's a really big, interesting part here, is that a lot of people can definitely get this confused or misconstructed. But what I mean by rebel for change's sake, not rebel for rebellion's sake. What I mean by something like that is, when it comes to living your authentic self, living yourself every day, no matter what anyone says about you. Most importantly, it means about standing up for yourself. It means standing up for societal change. For me, through my own authenticity, because I do absolutely value core values such as neutrality and understanding both sides to a story. When it means understanding both sides and rebelling against this or that, it means challenging the everyday things that we live in. It means challenging the status quo. I know this might seem inappropriate for this channel, but I covered this issue last time on doing it before marriage. You see, when it comes to this, in this example, in this belief of doing it before marriage, people often see this as something that's evil, something that should not be done before something that shouldn't be done before or after, and that it in itself is intrinsically evil. The really big problem with this blanket statement is that applying this statement to how doing it before marriage all across all relationships, that's unfair. That's not considering that there are, in this one place where there are two adults that are truly consenting to each other, there are both sides that absolutely consent. They're willing to do it before marriage. They're willing to do it before absolutely starting anything for that matter. And that becomes problematic, is because this blanket statement of doing it before marriage does not apply all across all sectors. It does not apply all across all places. And that's the form of critical thinking. It's not about going down with the crowd. It's about going with what you believe, even if it means going with the crowd or not going with the crowd sometimes. It means believing that the world isn't binary. It means believing that the world isn't just two choices. The world isn't just good or bad. Rather, each side is a complex dilemma. It's a complex issue where both sides have these beliefs, both other sides have those beliefs. It's not just you're good, I'm wrong. It's not just I'm right, you're wrong. No. Ultimately, both sides have their own validity, and life is not binary. Sometimes life will present itself in very interesting dilemmas for that matter. Applying it to a high school traditional no no applying authenticity to a high school situation here, it gets really interesting because number one, high school often prioritizes competitive performance, competitiveness over all of these other traits, and that's a really big thing here. Again, that does have its upsides, but then again, it in itself is also intrinsically flawed. Once again, you see, oh my god, let me pull out my notes real quick. One of the rare times I'm actually gonna pull this stuff out. Where did I leave this at? Socially accepted, but you're living a miserable life. But you're not socially accepted, but you're living an authentic life. Obviously, obviously some people are a mix of both of these. Life isn't binary, as I said. But then again, it's a really interesting thing here that I already pulled out in my old notes here, is that if you're authentic in high school and you're living to your own character, you will not be accepted by a lot of people because the high school hierarchy often accepts conformity and social approval over being different or showing differentiated viewpoints on a lot of issues, or showing complexity, showing that you understand both sides. Rather, it's about quick drama. Are you popular? Are you not popular? Is your social status big? Do you conform? And that's a really interesting part about this, is that my character, about like 50, not 50, about 70% of it rejects it, because authenticity absolutely slaps over conformity anytime. It doesn't matter if you're being pressured to do this or that. Rather, it's about being yourself, being your own character, and my personality, my authenticity absolutely conflicts with that too. And that's a really big thing here, is that no matter how much trouble, no matter how much frowns I'm given upon for people in high school for not succumbing to this pressure or that pressure, most importantly, it's about living what's right to yourself, all right? Because authenticity gives confidence. If you know that you're being this character, if you know that you're being the person that you truly want yourself to be, not being defined by societal norms, not being defined by other people, and most importantly, authenticity is also defining your social success by your own terms. Authenticity means defining your success by how you see it fit, not by how traditional metrics fit it to be, not seeing how your parents see your grades to be, not how the high school social structure validifies this or that. It's solidifying your own success based off of your own metrics, based off your own measurements. That's what authenticity is also about. It means going against the norm and setting your own boundaries. It also means setting your own things for that matter. That's a really interesting part about authenticity in this case, is that it is absolutely at odds with a lot of other things. It is absolutely at odds, especially when it comes to someone's calling me, bro. Are you serious? Okay, I wish I could rat them out right now. Maybe Charlotte, because they're disrupting this video right now. As much as I want to cut this out, true embarrassment. So I'm just gonna reveal the location. This one's in Baileyton, TN. So Baileyton, Tennessee. So if anyone of y'all want to go there, that's really up to y'all. But they disrupted me. This phone number coming from Tennessee, they disrupted me right now. Bye bye. But as I said, when it comes to conformity here, it's about going against the grain sometimes. It's not about outright rebellion. Rather, it's about challenging the societal norm. It's about defining your own success by your own measurements, for that matter. Think of something like that. It's about facing criticism for your own viewpoints, even when people may not agree with you sometimes. It's about being vulnerable with your own problems, even though there will be critics that will make fun of you for it. There will be trolls that will make fun of you for it. Authenticity is also about critical thinking too. It's not about siding to this one side or that side too fast. This especially goes to drama and polarization on the internet. It's about thinking critically for both sides. It's about thinking What are they doing? What are they doing? What experiences do they have that validify their side? What experiences does this other side have that validifies their side? That's a really big problem, is that a lot of people present this as like right or wrong, but it's not always right or wrong. It's not always binary. Life is more nuanced. It's more there's more than just right or wrong when it comes to a lot of issues today. That's the really big thing here too. Looking at authenticity again, it's most importantly about being yourself, not defining what people want you to be. It's defining how you want you to be. Like, how do I define myself when it comes to let's say I failed a test. When it comes to adding my own authenticity here, my parents might call me a failure. All right, I do have traditional Asian parents, so they're definitely gonna call me like absolutely rat me out being a terrible person. But it means when it comes to authenticity, it means shining out the parents' judgments. It's saying, or rather, it's saying to your own brain, how do I define this to be? Is this 50%? Maybe I got like a 70% on the test. Is this a form of success we can do better? Or rather, oh, wait. Is this right here? Is this a 70 or C minus that we got on this test? Is this as terrible as my parents make it to be? Or rather, is it on this mindset? Or maybe I absolutely grasped the topic. I absolutely got this. I just have to work just a little bit harder to gain that 80, 90%. Rather than just calling yourself, rather than your parents calling yourself a direct failure, or that you need to you are absolutely terrible at this subject. Instead of doing that, it's about, did I succeed in this test? Am I willing to grow from this and do better? Instead of just using a pessimistic mindset like my traditional Asian parents would say, like, you're an absolute failure at this, you didn't do this right. Instead of saying that, you say, could I do better as a person when it comes to this? Could I work just a little bit more? Could I see this as not a form of failure, but a step to success? Instead of seeing this as a failure at all, you could see this low score as another step, as a key to success, another cornerstone to success for that matter. That's a really big thing when it comes to authenticity. It's about defining yourself by who you are, not what others want you to be, even if it means living a miserable social life. But most importantly, it's about that authenticity and confidence. Are you living the person that you want to be? And most importantly, it's way better than conformity and living a miserable life, because if you conform, if you change your opinions, if you change this for the other person, then are you really living the life that you want to? If you're, let's say you're changing yourself to fit the molds of the traditional high school dynamics, are you fitting yourself for the high school structure, or rather are you fitting yourself to be you? All right, that's really interesting here when it comes to authenticity here. And as I said here, does get really interesting to a point, is because looking at this last one here, ultimately, chat, it's your choice. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be a mix of both authenticity and conformity? Do you want do you want to be a conformist? Do you want to be an authenticity person? Ultimately, the choice is really up to you, especially for my freshmen out there. You guys do not have to fit into social dynamics. If you know that other people are leaving you out, it is really, really up to you. Ultimately, the choice is yours. It's not high schools, it's not your parents, it's not your own friends. The choice to be this person is yours. How you define yourself is yours. Ultimately, all of the decisions go down to you as a person. I know I'm gonna play this one video game in the future. I'm definitely gonna post that onto YouTube, but I'm definitely gonna get that one question here that might one day come back to me. In real life, to the social structure and to a lot of ways how the world is structured as they want me to be, am I a deviant? And that is such an interesting question that I know I will one day be given here. Is, am I a deviant to social structure? Am I a deviant to my own parents, seeing in how I frame myself as? And that answer is yes, I am a deviant. Why? Because it's a lot of things that I want to say here, but ultimately, since I am running out of time, I do have schools tomorrow, so the time of editing this will definitely be a little bit. But the reason I chose myself to be a deviant is because of the way I define myself. All right, that's definitely when it comes to right there. Right? I define my own success based off of the person that I am. How did I do on this? Am I still beginning, or maybe do I got it? And that's a really interesting part about that. And of course, it's not a reason to not have friends. Obviously, chat in the high school hierarchy, I might do some sports later on. I might absolutely maybe do some networking. Obviously, with a few people, if I end up speaking to them, if I end up coming to them, or if they end up coming to me, I might do networking or anything like that. Obviously, I might do one sport in high school. I might do maybe one extracurricular, obviously. But then again, authenticity, it's about a lot of things for that matter. Chat, this is the end of the video now. Make sure to like and subscribe. And most importantly, I'll see you guys in the Oh, hold on a minute. Of course, I'm also doing Five Nights at Candy's content on my other channel, assuming we post this on my vulnerability channel for that matter. But I'm gonna be posting new gaming videos. They'll come out whenever I want them. But just know that I'm going to stay consistent. Now I'll see you guys